Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Peak Physique Podcast. Excited to give this podcast thing a try. I was recommended by Kiss Marketing, which is a company that I'm working with, to go ahead and jump into the podcast space and see how we do. And I'm excited to share with you the knowledge I have in fitness and nutrition and all things good living. First of all, let me talk about who I am a little bit. My name is Ricky Grabo. I'm from Wisconsin, born and raised in central Wisconsin, a place called Marshfield. Um, big sports enthusiast since I was a kid, and that kind of spawned into a love for exercise, weightlifting, and that led me to become a personal trainer. I own a gym called Peak Physique, which is located in West Dallas, Wisconsin, a suburb of Milwaukee. We specialize in large group training and one-on-one personal training. This podcast is going to be kind of revolving around short conversations about things related to fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle. We'll try to keep them under 20 minutes. We'll start that way until I get good at this, and maybe we'll advance into longer form conversation down the road. Today, I want to talk about a challenge that I'm doing called 75 Hard. Specifically, I want to cover 5 ways you can conquer 75 hard. You know, it's not going to be easy, but these techniques work really well. And I can speak on them working because I've done 75 hard once successfully, attempted it once, succeeded once, didn't have to start over or anything. And I'm currently on day 26 doing it again with a couple of friends of mine. Shout out to my wife, Leah. She's doing 75 hard. Shout out to my client and friend, Alex, and client and friend, Tiffany and Stephanie. We're all hanging in there so far. And like I said, I can give you guys out there some good advice on how to succeed doing 75 hard because I've got a few good techniques that have helped me succeed without having to start over again. First of all, let's talk about what 75 hard is if you're not familiar. 75 hard is a 75-day challenge. There are a few items that you need to follow on a daily basis. If you don't succeed in following any of the items in a day, you have to start over at day 1. So that's kind of a daunting task. The first thing, you need to do 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes minimum. And one of those workouts needs to be outside, regardless of weather. We've had a couple of really fun outdoor workouts in this current 75 hard that me and a couple of people are doing. It's been consistently 40 and rain over here in Wisconsin for about a week, and that was a very challenging thing. So again, 2 workouts, 45 minutes each. You also need to comply with a diet the whole time, no cheat days. So that means, you know, if you're on a restriction of no refined sugars, if you slip up and have a Snickers bar, for example, you gotta start over at day 1, regardless of if it's day 50, day 2, you gotta start over. Or, you know, just hang it up. Another thing you have to follow with 75 hard is no alcohol. 75 days dry. And in Wisconsin, just doing 75 days without alcohol alone is going to very much transform some bodies. All that beer that's not going in, it can definitely have a nice impact. Another item that you need to follow is you need to take a progress photo every day. I think this is really cool just for the sake of your own, following your own journey as you're going from day 1 to day 75. That way you can kind of see what you're actually progressing like one day at a time. And when you get to day 75 and you go back and look at that first day photo, most of the time the transformations are pretty outstanding. Okay, so you got to take that progress photo. Another item that you need to follow is you need to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book every day. And that's a good one because at the end of it, you've read 750 pages. You know, on average, you probably have read 3 books by the time you get to that. And again, you got to follow all of these criteria every day. Another thing that you got to follow is you have to drink a gallon of water every day. Now, I don't think all of you are watching this live, but if you are watching, I have a bottle right here on camera with me. If you see, it's a full gallon, and it follows a time schedule. So at the top of the bottle, it says 7 a.m., and it works all the way down to 9 p.m. This is a great tool because it's really, really hard to track your water if you're just putting it in a 16, 12-ounce glass. Where exactly you're at for that actual thing. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on. So going back to what this conversation revolves around, 5 ways to conquer 75 hard. The first thing I recommend you do if you're going to try 75 hard is to prepare your body, especially if you haven't been working out a lot. If you just jump into this thing and you're untrained, you probably aren't going to make it too far, because the stress you put on your body working out twice a day is going to take its toll. However, if you prepare for maybe a month, one day, or working out 5 days a week, 4 days a week, just getting ready for it, that will definitely help bulletproof you, as I like to say. You want to have those tendons strong, you want to have your muscles conditioned, and you want to be ready for what's coming, which is 150 workouts in 75 days. So make sure you prepare your body. Another very useful tool that's helped me along the way is the 75 Hard app, which is provided to you by the creators of 75 Hard. It's nice because you track your daily progress and all those items that I listed off, which are a lot, right? It's easy to forget something if you're just doing it in your head or even marking it down on paper. The app is, I think, $4.99, but again, it's really, really worth it. They even store all your photos from day 1 to day 75, so you can go back and look at photos really quickly. It's nice and convenient. Got to make yourself very, very prepared for this. The more prepared you are, the better. I also recommend, and another way to conquer this challenge is to make sure you have a lot of low impact workouts scheduled. This is going to really, really help you stay on track without injury. Low impact workouts, if you aren't familiar, are things like going on a bike ride, using a rower, going for a light walk, swimming, things that you're not really putting a lot of stress on your joints. If you're over 35 and you've been a little inactive, chances are there are going to be days when your feet hurt, your knees hurt, you got something that's just inflamed, and you got to have a way to modify that's not going to put you on the shelf. We actually had somebody that was in the 75 challenge we're doing currently who had to step off because they had such major inflammation in their knee. And honestly, sorry, Andy, if you're listening, he didn't listen to the body when it started talking to him at first, and something that was just a minor nagging injury turned into something major, which was knee bursitis with a lot of swelling. And again, if you're prepared for that to come up with low impact workouts, you'll be okay. You just got to listen to your body when those things come up, and definitely have a nice list of low impact workouts that are ready to go. Personally, I like to ride my bike. It's a good workout yet. My heart rate still goes up, especially when I hit hills, but I'm still not really doing the high impact stuff like running, where I'm pounding my feet into the pavement and putting lots of stress on the joints. So I already talked about this one a little bit, but going back to it again, I highly recommend you get one of these 1 gallon bottles that has the time goals on the side. The first time I did the challenge, I didn't have this originally, and there were a few times where I wasn't really sure where I was at for the day, just because I was using like a 30-ounce bottle to refill, and just lost track of my count, so I probably ended up drinking way more than I had to get it done. And then I learned about these 1 gallon bottles, and really helpful. And again, you got to make this thing as easy as possible because it is hard. Finally, another thing that I recommend, and the 5th thing I recommend to conquer 75 hard, is to keep a light social schedule. Going back to what I said a couple of times already, you got to make this thing as easy as you can on yourself. If you're loaded with vacations, birthday parties, big events, your chances are you're going to, have a lot less fun at these things, especially vacations. I couldn't imagine going on a 7-day cruise or something and having to work out twice a day and stay away from delicious food. So look at your schedule when you're deciding to embark on 75 hard. make sure it's relatively open. I'm not saying you should completely close yourself off from the rest of the world, but again, make your life easier, keep the schedule light. For me right now, I go out on the weekends, maybe once, and hang out with friends, and I kind of just keep the visits short, leave the temptation alone. I'm doing 16/8 intermittent fasting as my diet, and the hardest time of day is nighttime. I just prefer to go to sleep early so I don't have to really fight those urges to go to the fridge. But when you go out at night and you stay up late, you really got that urge to snack. And for me personally, that would put me back to day one because I'm supposed to cease eating for 16 hours. So that's the 5 ways to conquer 75 hard. I'll go over those again for you quick. So prep your body. Make sure you're trained before you start. If you just jump into this thing not ready, chances are you're going to run into some injury or something that's going to slow you down along the way. Use the app. The app helps you stay organized daily. You can store your photos on there, and it is honestly a lot of fun to use. Have low impact workouts ready. Chances are, again, if you're over 35 years old, things are going to get inflamed. Feet are going to hurt. Knees are going to ache. You got to be ready with something that's going to be a little less impactful on the knees, on the joints. That way you can continue on and make it to day 75. Use a 1 gallon bottle. Number 4. Those 1 gallon bottles make tracking how much water you've consumed throughout the day a lot easier. And again, we're just trying to make this thing as easy as possible. And finally, number 5, keep your social schedule light. The less things you have going on in your nighttime life, the less temptation you're going to face throughout the 75 days. Again, I like to just maybe go out once a week, keep the night early so I don't have the temptation to go home at 12 and put something in my mouth and have to start all over again. No way, no way. We're 26 days in right now, and I want to make it to day 75 without having to start again because it is tough. That's why they call it 75 hard, I guess. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you've enjoyed the very first Peak Physique podcast. Probably a little bit clunky right now, but I'm sure as we do this more and more, it's going to get better and better. Eventually, as I get more comfortable, I'll start bringing on guests and everything. But for now, it's just going to be me. Like I said, having nice short form conversations with you guys. If you like what you heard today and you want to learn more about how to work with us, hit me up. My email is rgrabo@mketrainer.com, and you can find that in the description section. Also, if you're interested in working with us online, we do an online coaching system too. And again, you can use that email, contact us. We'll get in contact with you and go from there. All right. Thanks again, you guys. Hope you enjoyed and have yourself a great day.